Check. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing this evening? Hope everybody's weekend was good. Oracle. It's a new name we haven't done in a while. Very nice. Are you in that trade already or just wanting perspective? Let me know. Yep, Gail, definitely SPY and QQQ. We'll definitely go over. They'll be tricky, but I think we can get some movement off those. I think or get some tradable levels for you guys figured out tonight. Yeah, it's always tough. I mean, we'll look at the chart here in a minute or two, but just tough when things, not just gap up, but all-time high, but gap up like 3 days in a row for new all-time high. That's what makes it tough, but we shall figure it out. Well, slow night, slow people trickling in. We got a few people, 13 or 14 people. Let's see what we come up with tonight, but that's more time for us to talk and go over some stuff. But all right, guys, with that, I'm gonna dive right in. People will trickle in, I'm sure, and maybe we'll go over SPY and QQQ again. But if you guys want anything you want to go over, let me know in the chat. Put it in the Zoom chat, that is, and we'll go over it together. Otherwise, we got Oracle, we got TMO. I want to look at Apple because it's still in a very nice range. AMD, potential good chart pattern setup. Google, my thoughts on Tesla for you guys chasing those super expensive contracts. I talked about it in the voice chat on Friday if anyone was there. Yeah, then some small port names. But with that, we're going to dive right in. So, all right, guys, I'm on the daily chart on SPY. I took all the lines off, or support resistance lines, that is, just to kind of give us perspective of where we're at, where we think we're going to go, where we should go, or not should go, or could go, I should say. Let's just take a minute here and just see where we're at, what it did, just to give you guys, before I give my perspective and analysis on it, just to kind of see, Lord, yep, I'll look at MSTR as well. Let me write that one down. But just perspective to see where we're at, you guys. We have an obvious trend line below us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, these trend lines are great because if you have this already charted out, these trend lines, and you see a sell down to this, like that, those are the sneaky trend lines. When it lines up support and resistance is where you take your shots on calls. It may be, that day on Wednesday probably started ugly, no doubt, or could have started ugly, but look where we ended on it. So we got the gap up, we got a little bit dip, but that dip right to the trend line, and so that trend line is played out, and that's why I'm leaving the trend line here. That's why I took off all the other support resistance lines, just to not cloud our judgment. But like I said, new all-time highs with gaps back to back to back pretty much. And so this does make it a little bit tricky. But so this is one of the few times. Yeah, Norman, put them in the chat. Let me know, brother. I'm sure it's not teasing you. I'm sure VST's one of them. But SPY, I got the Bollinger Bands on the chart, you guys. That's this red squiggly line and the purple line. And like I said, the Bollinger Bands on the daily, these are the 2 standard deviation where it's set at. So let's just take a minute in history and look kind of back and see when we close over and outside of it, kind of what happens. Can we push some more? Yes. Like, we're over it 3 days in a row now. Can we push some more? Yes. But the risk, the risk to the top side is risky. My short-term thoughts, I do think we're going to blow off the top on 600. I don't know how far we go, but we need a pullback, not because I want to be bearish or think we need to be bearish, but it's just from a chart perspective, from a sentiment perspective, we can see we get it overextended, or extended over these zones here. We can kind of see what we do. We kind of gravitate towards back inside of these Bollinger Bands here. And so, again, we've closed outside 3 days in a row. Can it go more? Yes. Like I said, I think we're probably going to, get over that 600 this week. I don't know how far. If we push another 2%, go up to 610, you can send me a DM, be like, hey, you're crazy. You told us, think to be bearish, but it's more perspective on what I'm seeing here of just how overextended we are. And if I turn these off, just to kind of clean up the charts just a little bit, the purple line is the daily 9 moving average. The green is the 20. And so we can see when we get far extended off of that, we start to range. and we dip a little bit and we push, we dip, and we push for range, and those EMAs get caught up, those moving averages catch up to us. So that's what I want to see this week. What my hypothetical or ideal situation would be is, let's go tag that 600 for the bulls. Let's get that. But then I'm, what I'm expecting to see is probably some range action in here. I don't know if it lasts a day or 5 days or 10 days or whatever, or maybe a day and we leg up some more, but I'm expecting some sort of a range to form up in this upper zone here. And I'm fully expecting this trend line to hold. So I'm not like super bearish on that, but the point is, I want to see something like this start forming this week. Now that we have some, we got the elections out of the way, most of the big tech earnings are out of the way. And so I want to see something like that. And then these moving averages are going to start catching up. And that's where we get more of a bigger play. So when these start catching up, when we see moves like this, it's like, okay, do we curl under and dip below, or the moving averages and the trend line holds and we push up for another leg just to keep this rally going into November and December. And so that's kind of what I'm watching for this week. Like I said, it's kind of tough because we're at new all-time highs, and it just makes things tough. And so on a smaller time frame, you guys, we'll go the 15-minute. What we want to see, you guys, is basically what I'm going to be doing. If you guys are in Thinkorswim, this yellow line is the hourly 20. Then I have my green, my 9 EMA here. And so that's really what I'm going to be focusing on is, if I catch a trend like this on SPY tomorrow, I'm just going to ride the trend until it sells under and stops me out. Basically, that's all we can do with all-time highs, either than Fibonacci extensions and stuff like that. And then this hourly 20 is this stair-stepped line, this yellow line here that I'm following. And so anytime we trade around it or close to it, if the 20 kind of opens around something like this and we open around it, I'm going to buy dips. I'm going to buy calls off of that until it fails, to push that 600 zone. But if we start seeing some sells under it, and then some sells under like these pockets from last week, or this Thursday close from last week, which is also pretty much Friday open, like we start seeing some sells below there, that's where I'm bearish on the day, just for, the sentiment of the day. Doesn't mean I'm bearish for, a month or two out or whatever that is, but it's just kind of what I'm eyeing on a more zoomed in look at the charts, because like I said, it's literally, no pun intended, it's uncharted territory, but I think we get the 600. How far over that? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Similar situation on Qs, you guys. Let me go to the daily chart. QQQ. Not an easier chart to trade, but I think easier in the aspect that it broke all-time highs, like this big cluster of volume here recently. So I think it's easier to trend back here versus SPY. And also we got that big round number at 500, the big psychological, it's 500. The markets like to trade around those round numbers. And so to me, this is an easier trade once we get down to it, because we have the 500. We got what would be, or what I would expect, a huge support level, a big volume shelf here, probably waiting at 500. And so QQQ, I think, is slightly easier to trade. I mean, no doubt about it. It made new all-time highs as well. It's not quite as far over the moving averages. And so again, until this hourly 20 holds, whatever it does, however pretty or ugly it is, like, we got to buy dips into it. But until this yellow line, the price is above, we got to buy dips into it. And once we sell under it, we start looking, okay, where can we get bearish, with a little bit of confidence? And for me, this little pocket here, I didn't want to chart it out ahead of time, but I'm just eyeing it for you guys. So it's only 2 days worth of volume here, up here, but it's reason to get short if we open underneath here or sell through here, because we got a push consolidation here on Thursday and then breakout. Sell under, a little bit of consolidation, bounced off of it, and then a little bit of a breakout as well. And so to me, if we sell down into it or dip into it, cautiously buy your dips into it, because you see these wicks here from Friday, and you have to say, okay, there's buyers there on Friday. Is there going to be buyers here Monday or Tuesday, whatever day it is? But that's just the pocket of support or recent support. It's not a ton, but it is support until that is. But until that sells under, again, if this kind of opens here, we sell through that. You can take puts into this zone. You should definitely trim heavy, leave all but a runner, leave a runner. Or if you wait for this to sell through and we come and bounce up, and now what was support is or should be treated as resistance. So this little pocket at the bottom of this little shaded area, that's where you can short the bounces, in my opinion. You could also take calls down here, but for me, when we sell through a recent support, and if Apple's a little bit weak, AMD, Amazon's, whatever it is, in Qs, that's my reason to just short the bounces until it fails you. But if we reclaim it, yeah, get long on some calls again. But if we start selling through there, that's where you take your puts and you say, okay, well, what are my targets below? Well, we don't have much. We just have to look at this price action from Thursday. Always chart out the opens, the opening candle volume, the opening candle level, previous day closes. But again, you guys, it's all-time highs. It makes it tricky. And so my point is, look for these single ticker names this week, your Apples, your AMDs, your Amazons, whatever it is, because some of these have not made new all-time highs. And so we have an easier range to trade from. But that being said, does anybody have any questions on SPY or QQQ before we get moving on to some other stuff? But I wanted to point that out because, we all trade it. We love to trade it, but it is tricky every time it makes new all-time high. Like when this happens on days or weeks like this, I kind of just sit it out. I just kind of let the market do its thing. I look for some other stuff. All right, now to your guys' watch list. Oracle. Let's check on the day. Let's see where we're at, because we haven't played this one in a while. Is this all-time highs? Like everything else, maybe, probably. Yep. Okay. Well, that makes it tricky, but we'll try and give you a game plan on Oracle. Nothing. I did a scan, saw the movement, was curious. That's why. Okay, perfect. So Oracle is gonna kind of be, the same thesis as SPY and QQ for me, because this all-time highs, unless I'm mistaken. Trade at and around those round numbers. So like this 188 here, I'm not going to tag it perfect, but we'll get it close if I can. So round numbers are always where you take your shots. So 188, 189, 190, and so forth. And so this hourly 20, it might be a broken record, you guys, on things that have gapped up or all-time highs. It's kind of the same thesis this week for me. But until, we have a clear uptrend, a multi-day uptrend that is. Long-term outlook, it's an uptrend. And even recently, we have a very nice, a very well-defined uptrend here. A lot of touches, kind of all the morning action here. But, we have 3 or 4 days of touches here. You either expect this trend to open pre-market. If not, you look for your dips here on this 188 level and this hourly 20. And so again, for me, if I were to take this, early in the morning trade, bounces at your 188s, okay, and then you're in profit, you're up 15-20%. Where do you sell? How do you find your profit targets? Well, you really only have Friday to look at, and so you catch the calls down here at 188. I'm on the 30-minute time frame right now, and so the bottom, or where all these, basically how I chart you guys, basically look for where the candle bodies are starting, where the wicks are forming, and so I can easily mark out a spot here that I say, hey, I have lots of candle bodies on Friday starting, bouncing there or dipping a little bit below there, but a lot of them are starting there at that 188.62-ish. And so for me, if you bottom snipe that 188, take that 62% move up there, or 60-cent move, up there, and start trimming some calls. If you're in 3 of them, sell 4, sell 5, and then we get a breakout over. Okay, you start looking at these wicks here on the 30-minute. Chart some more levels, just like that, because again, it's all-time highs. We don't have a lot to work off. That's why, I kind of let the markets do its thing, consolidate, and then we start selling or dipping down or taking, some profit. You get all this price action to your left, all this past price action, and to me, that's easier to trade off of than pushing to one previous day all-time high. So if we start selling below 188, you start looking left and you go, okay, look at Friday's open and Thursday close zone. Boom, let's get a level there. I'm just charting this really quickly just for time's sake, but. And then you start looking down here, and you can look at each of these 30-minute candle bodies and say, okay, I can trim. I don't know what percent each of those moves will be. Or when you see consolidation pockets like this before a leg up or down, you definitely want to mark those levels there, stuff like that. So if you're in something, say we sold under 188, hypothetical swing on puts, and you got 4 weeks of time, you definitely trim this zone. Okay, you sold, 4 of your 5, you let one run, and you just let that trickle down. Markets look weak, you definitely just let the market do its thing. You let your charting do its thing for you. Let's see. Gail wanted TMO. That's a new one for me. Thermo Fisher. Interesting. I see your request, Norman. I'll get to a couple of them. I probably can't get to all of them, but we'll get to a few. Ooh, interesting setup.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Siri,
703.
Siri, Siri, what are you doing? Siri, I'm not talking to you. Sorry about that, guys. All right. You can't say sorry or seriously because Siri thinks you're talking to her. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Let me get in charting mode here. So I'm definitely, all right, now I'm super distracted. All right. So Gail, big range, no doubt, $50 range, but I just for, to get a perspective on where we're at, we pushed up to the 600, 601 zone. This was a big level in March, big level in May, big level in July, finally broke over, made progress. I guess, looking at the candles, they pushed up, really no big continued breakout, but we ultimately curled down a nice rounding top and sold through it. Okay. And so for now, this 601, like I said, I know it's a big range, but if you take long calls, you take shares, like that is definitely a top zone for me. And this 549 zone is definitely a bottom range that we're at now. So this is actually a really good name to look at and to trade for sure. Let me get some more levels for you here. Again, I don't make too big of a range, but I'm going to start on the daily just to give us perspective on where we're at, where we can go. And again, if you guys are new to my charting or type of charting, I always look for big areas of big movement. So big areas that we bounce off of, big areas reject, big areas where I see wicks. And so on the daily, that's kind of what I'm going to start with for now, just to get a few levels going. But definitely, if you're input scale, I would definitely be, looking at the chart alone, having no bias before, we start charting. But this 549, that's a big, big level. I would not be starting a bearish position here. That's just me, how I look at the chart. Like there's no way I look at this and go, okay, I missed the whole move down. Obviously there's a gap down from earnings, but I see the 466 rejection, and you don't take puts, you don't take puts, you don't take put. And now you look at this zone here, you look at this support and go, okay, now I want puts. Like for me, that is not the way to trade. You need to break below in a retest to get a puts entry. But for me, this is either watch and be patient, or you take your shot on calls all day long on this. So I'm on the 30-minute chart now, you guys, and we can see how when we get into this 549 level, let's not just chart a level and say, okay, it's a big level. Let's see the reaction. Let's look at the candlestick bodies. I'll try and zoom in as much as I can. So when you see a 549 down here on this 30-minute candle here, it's like, okay, the candle opened here, sold down. So if you caught your puts, nice. But if you got your puts late, that's a big ouch, because that's a big bounce there. Okay. Sold through it after hours on this day, but ultimately look at that next day, big buyback over. Sellers tried to get it, big buyback over again, big buyback over again. So when you guys see stuff like this, don't be blindly bearish, like, okay, the chart's going down, I'm just going to buy puts. It's like, no, you guys have to chart it out, because when you buy puts here and it bounces, like, why did it bounce? The chart was going down. It's like, this is a huge level of support, you guys. And we are very, very, very small traders in this market. And there's big money moving around this, whatever name this is or company this is, every name, like there's people buying lots of shares here at 549, whether you like it or not, whether you want to be bearish. There's investors here or day traders here flipping shares right here at 549. So for me, I definitely will be watching something like this. If we start creeping low, and this hourly 20 does something like this, we bounce and we get over that hourly 20, definitely take some calls. And you're risking 75-cent risk, so 75-cent move, delta move against you. So that would hurt a little bit if you bought right at 550. You have to hold. But for me, I would take a half position if you got some, like a month time, and then you could get, you get a full position here. Like if we bounce down and we hold this all day long, like you can scale in again. But again, you either got to be patient and just set alerts and wait for that level to hit, or if we open over it, like there's options as well. But definitely, man, at 549, I like this chart. I don't know what the name is. I don't know how liquidity is, but lower highs, But now we're coming to support, so it's decision time. Do we make a lower high and go down? If we do, break down, retest, take your puts, or do we lower high, but then we start holding and we start seeing all this action from here from last week, even as recent as last week, you guys. And we got the daily 9 moving average here closing in. And so for me, definitely a name to watch or be bullish on. Not a name I want to be short on right now, but that's just how I trade. That's just how I see stuff. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Lloyd, MSTR, that's Bitcoin stuff, right? Is that Bitcoin stuff? I always forget. Let's check the daily. Oh yeah. Oh, well, we charted this recently. Someone had me on this last week because here's our charting. Look at that breakout. That's probably Norvin that had me on that. Norvin likes to trade this a lot. Shout out to you, Norvin. Obviously, like a little pin action here on support on the 20 MA, and what we do, big breakout the market. And so it's all-time highs, you guys. Yeah, probably. If not, let me know. Interesting. I like the little pullback on Fry. That makes it easier for us, or easier how I trade. So Lloyd, if you're still in here, definitely it's not super clean, but I kind of see this as least we can either do 2 touches here. I don't know. I don't want to just make something just because, but I was hoping we got a little more touches there because that would be something I'd be watching. But it's not super clean. It's only 2 touches, but watch something like this on Monday. Do we get this? Do we open flat basically? So flat means like basically where we closed at. So we closed, we'll just call it 270. So that's a big level there. Okay. Push over, dip, buyers were there. Okay. Push over, dip, sold through, buyers bought it back up, sold through, buyers closed over it. Okay. So for me, very interesting spot here. I could probably even grab this guy here. Yeah, tricky spot on Monday. Not super clean chart, you guys. Sorry in those trend lines, but something to watch on MSTR MicroStrategy. So that 270, anything over 270 for a day trade or cautiously on swings, cautiously, I'm using air quotes, be bullish over that. Under 270, we can see the sell pressure potentially doesn't mean it can't get bought back up, but we sell through that 270. So that's definitely just one to, put an alert on either way, you guys, and just wait for a trigger below or above and kind of go from that. Yeah, I'm gonna get to AMD in a little bit. Yep, I see your question on AMD because AMD has a pretty nice chart. What I'm thinking. See, I mastered that 270 level. 270 is big. LOY. Fitness and Futures. Good to have you in here, man. Ooh, a little bit of selly, a little bit of bouncy. Interesting. All right. Where are we rejecting? Does it make sense? Absolutely right here. Definitely making sense right there. Are you looking for swings out on this or day trade shares? What do you think? Because I don't want to give, I guess I should ask all you guys, I don't want to give too much perspective. We don't know. So 804, 847, that's a big range. I guess from an option trader or a shares position perspective, we bounced where we should, or we reclaimed levels where we should, this 804, 34-ish, this 804 zone. So definitely some big levels in there. Let me zoom in a little bit, get some more detailed levels for you guys. And actually it plays out really well. Wow, that big of a move in one day. Jeez. That thing can move. Damn. All right. Well, maybe it's not too big of a range. Well, we sold through that 847 fitness a week or two ago. Let's call it 2 weeks ago. Sold through it. Buyers bought it, sold through it. They closed at it, sold through, and that was ultimately the trigger for short term of buyers giving up. Bulls giving up for now, but they sold it right to a huge support. Sold it down Wednesday or if they got some news. That's a pretty ugly sell when the rest of the market gapped up Wednesday. Interesting. Sold down. Big bounce, big buyback. Say. So what I'm getting at is, yeah, it's a big range. I mean, it's 40 something bucks, but it's rejecting where it should. For me, let me tag another level here, because I'm definitely seeing, yeah, I'm definitely seeing that I like for sure. I like this spot here, 832 basically. Again, candle bodies are closing. It's kind of a pivot when it's over under. Pre-market wick there, sell through there, bounce over there. So for me, man, 832, definitely. You take your shot on calls. It's a support you expect or you want it to hold. And then a daily 9 moving average you expect or you want that to hold. And then your hourly 20. So for me, at least the way I never trade this ever, but at least the way I look at it, you have one reason to support, 2 support, 3 support. So 3 reasons to be bullish, at least for a day trade. Push up. I don't know if you get this moving in one day, but you look for that as your final profit target. But definitely before that, you start, because this is, that's a big range there. So if you can get close to at the money calls or something like that, you definitely look at your full body candles for your sell zones. Don't, if you're in 5, I wouldn't say hold 5 to here. That's just being greedy. That's awesome if you can get that move, but that's just being greedy. You take your calls off here, you bottom tick, trim, get out, pat yourself on the back. Okay. Sell under, it can pay, but be cautious because this daily 9 that is stair stepping down, it's going to open somewhere around there. So again, on the daily time frame, that's where your 9 moving average is on the daily. If I were to go the daily, it'd line up right here at 824 basically. So take your puts, but don't take your puts here at entry. You sell, you secure profit down there. If we sell through it, sell through it, but don't get an entry right at daily moving average. That's not good trading. But really nice setup, back to back, couple nice setups, you guys. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. Watching reaction. Oh, I'm sorry. Watching reaction around the daily. Or wait, reaction 200 SMA. Is that the 200 on the daily? I don't have that. I don't have the data on that chart. Oh, okay. Maybe I should stay on this charting. Yeah, look at that. Now that I see your comment, I'm sorry about that. Pushed up, rejected at a support, close right at the daily 200. Okay, so I guess that's 4 reasons. Okay, so 4 reasons at 832 fitness to take your shot, even though it closed there. When we get over that, you treat this dash line. That's a 200-day moving average that he pointed out. Very good eye on that. 200 moving average on that one. Very nice chart again. Very nice on that. I like that. 4 reasons to be bullish on that. Get the RSI out of here. Just make our charts bigger. Check in. Go in order. I got Spotify, and then you're up next, Norman. Ooh, interesting. All right. I hate when this everything gaps up. That's SPY, not spot. Why is that not typing? There we go. Spot? Wait. SPOT? Adrian? Wait, am I dumb? There we go. Man, sorry, I haven't been drinking, I promise, guys. Spot. All right. Check the chart. Looks like probably all-time highs again. Interesting. Definitely some rejections here. And on the daily, guys, on this chart too, oh, we got earnings coming up. Shit, earnings in 2 days. That'll be tricky. But earnings aside, I'll take a look at the chart regardless. So we got some big pushes up here, but these last 2 days are kind of some big indecision candles. Like it tells me, buyers are still present down here. Buyers are present down here. Big sellers up top over here. And so, we closed on just some candles of just little to no confirmation. But Yeah, I'm gonna get to Tesla Z06 because Tesla I definitely want to talk about you guys buying those out of money contracts. I just got a little bit of a lecture for you guys on that just because I'm being the grouch that I am on that. But Spotify, I see this upper trend line. Let's see if it connects here. Yep. Who asked? I think this was Adrian. I think they're asking this. Definitely draw this upper trend line on Spotify. I'm on the 1 hour chart. Any medium time frame, you should be able to tag this as well. And so for me, we catch our bounces at least for tomorrow. Let's see here. Definitely these wicks down here. So for me, the last 2 days, I definitely see a little bit of top zone selling pressure here at this 403.50 to 404. Definitely see some reaction there. We have top trend line keeps rejecting 2 days in a row. You know, this 404 to 403.50 zone, we're pushing up, but we're getting selling pressure when we get there. And so for me, decent range, you know, 397 to 404, you can definitely play this range. And so for me, you either, you know, see where we open. If we open somewhere around here, you take your calls and you sell all but one and you leave a runner for a breakout. Okay. Or if you're late to the party and you see it's a Monday and we just double topped here and now the opening range is set, you can take some puts with caution, because when you take puts, you expect to see the wick push down like this, or these wicks like this push down on your puts, and you take profit down in this zone here and you leave a runner for this. Or if we open in here, you take your puts and you secure all there. For me, how I would do it for a day trade. Or if you're in several, you take them all and you leave a runner to see if we sell through that. But I definitely, you don't watch this move here and go, oh, I want to be bearish. No, not yet. Okay, I'll take puts here, and then boom, a big bounce. You never want to do that. And so decent range, you know, $5, $6, $7 range here. Definitely playable. Moving averages are catching up, but earnings are on Tuesday. So, you know, trade that and take that with caution. Definitely for sure. Sorry, I gotta scroll back up here. All right, Norman, I can't get to all of them. We're gonna start the ones in order, and we'll zoom back around. HD. Where are we on the chart? All right, not all-time highs. Love it. Makes it easier to get perspective. All right, see this right away. I like charting new stuff. It's just easy for me to see. So I drew this line here, you guys, 406, because you know that candle body closed there, and you have to say, okay, why did it close there? Why do we not close over it? And for me, look at that big wick there. So this is kind of, I always say, our pivot. That 406 is the pivot of what I want to see. So we start getting closes and bounces over 406. Get long, stay long on day trades and some swings with caution, because now you're over a big support. So that's one reason to be bullish. Your daily 20, 2 reasons to be bullish. Your 9, 3 reasons to be bullish. And then you have this nice big pocket here that should act as support, or you know, what was supply should now be demand, should be a big pocket of support. So nice chart. Definitely tradable. Definitely tradable in HD. I like that one. Actually, I don't play it, but I like that because yeah, we start seeing some bounces over. Bounce over that 406, breakout, retest, absolutely take your calls. We open here and we trickle in, we kind of like half-fast sell down, you know, we get some wicks underneath this, big buybacks up, absolutely take the dip buy, take your calls at 406 until that fails you. We start seeing rejections again, easy, you know, easy to get bearish, you know, you don't have to be tied to a trade too long. Just we're day traders, you know, most of us or all of us. Just take your puts, take into all this price action down here. Very nice levels. Check the chat, sorry. All right, Costco and AMD. Costco. I think we played this not too long. Oh, we had it charted a couple weeks ago. Damn, that's a big day. Wow. Jeez. What a day. That's a monster move. But I know probably my commentary on this a couple weeks ago is consolidation leads to big moves. Consolidation, leads to big breakouts or big breakdowns, and we got that. And so you guys, again, like I always say, you want to be swing traders. You see this. These moving averages start curling, getting tight. They curl under your price action, and you reclaim a big ass support. Boom. Take your swings. Man, big move. Hope someone caught that. iPhone. Were you in that trade, iPhone, or we just want perspective on cost? That's a nice trade, because I know I got drawings here. I know we talked about it not too long ago. But yep, all-time highs. What do you know? Markets are booming. If you guys got 401ks, Roth IRAs, I sound like I'm sad that everything's all-time highs, but I'm not. Like, it's good. Our retirement accounts are booming. Hopefully you guys are investing, but sometimes it just makes it hard to trade. It's my only point. But you guys, nice stair step up. Like, when you start seeing these moves here, like, stay off the 5-minute when you're trying to build a game plan. Like, when you see higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, you take your shot. You have the uptrend forming. You have the breakout forming over this big level here, this big level. Attempted breakout, fail. Attempted breakout, sold down, regained it. Breakout over, never look back. That's how you catch those big moves, you guys. Like, get on the larger time frames, build a game plan from that, and that's how you guys do that. As far as a game plan on this one, again, trade around the round numbers. So your 940s didn't exactly hit that perfect. And you look back left, you look back your previous zones here. And then we'll assume or say this is all-time highs. I'm going to go with the candle body closes, because technically I got 2 little touches there. And so for me, kind of torn. I might move this one more like that. Yeah, closer to that 940. But for me, a trickle in here, iPhone on this move here. Play your bounces. Again, there's not a lot of volume up here. It's a new level. It's uncharted territory. Push up, or you can sell down, same thing. Don't be married to the trade. If you caught the move, you missed the breakout. And so for me, if you want to be a swing trader and you miss the breakout, it's like you got to wait for some key levels to come back. For me, that 920 be pretty big, that 918 level be pretty big zone there to catch some dip buys. Or you can just kind of be patient, set some alerts, and wait for these moving averages to creep back up. But for me, it's like I never want to see a new all-time high. It's like, okay, I'm gonna swing some December Costco's. It's like, well, can it work? Yeah. Can we go to 990, 980, 1,000, whatever? But it's like, I don't want to buy the top. Maybe it's not the top. Maybe we blow through it the next day. But it's like, I trade off levels because I know, it's easier to set a stop on levels that we've already been to, is my point. Hope that helps. All right. We'll go a couple on my watch list, you guys, just for speed of time. Oh, let's go look at a chart here. Let's go look at a chart. Anybody like coffee? Anybody like soda? What do you drink coffee out of? Just let you guys look at this chart here for a second. I'm just gonna draw some lines. Let you guys look at this for a minute. Man, that coffee cup, and that handle look nice. You guys see that on AMD? Tell me I'm not crazy. Look at that. If this is the top of our cup, that's the cleanest cup and handle you're ever going to see. I'm on the AMD 1 hour. Okay, let's build a game plan. Let's not dive into calls, because 1K says cup and handle. Okay, that's how are we going to trade this? For me, if this daily 9 tomorrow or this week, well, it's got a curve. It's not just this isn't just going to jump up. I mean, it does stair step up based on price action, but if this curls, so we're stair stepping down, and we start making higher lows on my daily 9, and my 148, or excuse me, 149, we get closes over, I'm bullish. I'm so bullish on this name. Can it fail? Absolutely can fail. But, cup and handle aside, I'm going to zoom out and just show you this 149 level, you guys, because I know I like my large time frames. Make it nice and thick so you guys on your iPhones can see. Regardless if we call it cup and handle, whatever it is, if you hate chart patterns, let's just look left. Look at that thick line, you guys, right here. How important that 149 is. When we get over it, what do? We move big, we move multi-day. We get under it, multi-day sell, hard selling pressure, okay? So for me this week, 149 on AMD. I had to point this out because I think it's a very favorable setup. Can this break down? Absolutely. If this breaks down under 149, because like I said, markets made new all-time highs. Guess what? AMD did not. Okay. So I wanted to point out a trade that didn't make new all-time highs because we have some chart levels here to trade from. So for me, again, 149. I don't want to be, I can take puts here at 149, but again, I know this daily 9 moving average is not far below. I know we have this price action here from Friday, not far below. And so I'm more cautious to dive in puts, but I'm not afraid. So we sell through this little pocket here. We sell through this little shaded area. And now our daily 9, let's just say it goes like that. We sell through that. And now the daily 9 is overhead. So that's 1, 2, 3 reasons to be bearish for a day trade for me, how I see it. But if we're over this, get long, stay long, because that is a huge level. Again, for the last time, 149 on AMD, you guys, I want to point that out. Again, because we have lots of information here, either down or up. If we go down, we have all this price action here, recent price. There's no reason you guys need help with charting or learn how to chart. It's like go on to larger time frames, look where these candle bodies are closing, and draw your levels and find your profit zones. Okay. Very nice levels. We go up. Okay, let's look left. We break out. What are we doing? We're looking at Friday's price action, Thursday's price action, and immediate price action from October 30th. Because we get over this zone here at 150, we can see all this volume. That there's got to be a lot of volume at 150 building up. That we've seen that smackdown Friday there on AMD. So yeah, Norman, this looks like it's ready for something this week. Maybe it breaks out right away. Maybe it breaks down. Maybe we sit sideways. Sideways is kind of even better, because when we see those big consolidations, we see those big breakout moves. Okay, maybe this thing sits tight. We got NVIDIA November 20th. That is in 10 trading days. So I guess that'd be like not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday-ish. So maybe AMD kind of sits idle. Maybe investors are waiting on that. And NVIDIA gets a very nice move. This thing's going to launch. Okay, I want to point that out. Let me look at another one. Actually, drink water. I'm going to talk about Tesla real quick, you guys, while I got everyone's attention. I'm going to try and get to everyone's names. We might have to run long because we actually had a lot of requests, which is good. But quickly on Tesla, just to kind of save your asses a little bit. So top chart is a 1-hour chart. Bottom chart is a 1-hour chart. Do these names look exactly the same? Yes or yes? The answer is yes. They look exactly the same. The bottom one's Tesla. Is the top one Tesla? Well, no, but kind of. So the top one is a leveraged shares position on Tesla. Okay. So what did Tesla do on Friday? 8%. What did this leveraged share position do? 16%. Okay. So when you guys are in voice chat and Flips is like, hey, I'm taking a 3:30 call. Let's look at this real quick. I'm just doing this for a little bit of education, a little bit of knowledge for you guys. Point this out. So on Tesla. All right. So Tesla opens at 325. Okay. Flip says, this again, this hypothetical. I don't know if he called this out, this hypothetical. Flip says I'm taking a 3:30 call. How much is that 3:30 call, you guys? $1,015. 10.15. It's expensive. What do we know about options contracts in general, generally speaking? What should the delta be? I'll wait like 30 seconds. Someone type in the chat. What should your delta be in an option contract to be a realistic trader? I'll wait in the chat. If no one knows or people are sleeping or don't care, I will say it, but love it. 25 or higher. I usually go 30 or higher, but I love you guys. You guys are paying attention. Perfect. Okay. So this 330, what is the delta? 44. So that's good. Okay. But what do? You say, you know what? I can't buy $1,000 contract because it's too expensive. So what do? You go way down here and you get like a 400 strike contract. Okay. Because what? It's cheap. What's the delta on that? 0.05. This has a 5% chance of going in the money at expiration. A 5% chance. We don't trade to just hold till in the money, but my point is you're buying a Tesla contract that's $75 out of the money. Okay, $75 out of the money. So what do? TSLL. Okay. I'm not like annoyed talking about it, but I'm getting tired of talking about it. Okay. TSLL. Let's pick a 30 delta. Okay. 0.29. How much does that cost you? $66, you guys. You guys are $2.50 out of the money. It's a $66 contract. And guess what? When Tesla goes up, look, I'll zoom in just to prove it. When Tesla goes up and makes this big ass move, what is TSLL doing? It's literally doing, you guys, the exact same thing. The exact same thing. If you're bearish on Tesla, you get TSLL puts. If you're bullish on Tesla, get TSL, please. My point is, you guys are going to start trading these weekly contracts that are way, way out of the money. You can make some money if you catch the move. But what if Tesla has a consolidation day next week? You know, what if we start seeing this price action here next week? And it's a Thursday or Friday contract. And that damn thing costs you a lot of money. You don't take your money, you don't take your money. Okay. So what do, you guys? You can trade Tesla with flips every day. But if you guys have a small port, trade TSLL. It is so much easier to manage, you guys. I'm seeing the chat, I'm seeing the gains tab. I mean, I'm glad you guys are making money, but it's like, you guys got to get a realistic strike, because if you buy calls when it goes against your way, it goes against your way that much worse, because you're in a 400 strike and Tesla's at 325. Like, do not be foolish, you guys. So like, again, TSLL. Maybe it's the last time I talk about it, maybe not, but I'm just trying to help you guys. All right, sorry for my rant, because I just heard some shit in voice chat this week or last week and just trying to help. All right, let me get to some names that I did not go over. I'll get to the repeats. I'm just trying to scan the chat. J, A, B, B, V, A, B, B, V, oops, B, V. I feel like we've done this one before, but I don't remember. Let's see. Damn it. Always resets. Ooh, okay. I like this one. Definitely. What do you think about this one, Jay? I know we talk a lot in DMs. I don't remember if you're in this one or not, but definitely a big support to be watching on this one. Definitely big support here. Big definitely a big pocket here. You know, resistance, breakout. What do we know? When we break resistance, what is it now? Resistance becomes support until it's not. Yes, so if he calls out Tesla, yeah, if he's bullish on Tesla, you get TSLL. That's, I mean, you guys, I'm not saying you can't take Tesla, but the point is it moves exactly the same and you can get a strike the same. I mean, in gains tab, yeah, you're not, you know, you don't have a in the money Tesla call and it doesn't look sexy, but you know what, you're trading smart. And so, you know, you're making the big percent move on an out of the money Tesla, but your dollar amount's less because you're so far out of the money. You know, there's gonna be times like if you start taking Tesla on a Thursday and Friday, sorry, I'm going back to it, but if you start taking on a Thursday and Friday and we get the push up and they're cheering on Tesla, but you're way out of the money, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, my contract's not moving that much, because theta decay is literally offsetting more than that contract is making. Okay, so yeah, send me a DM if you guys need more explanation, but it's literally the same thing, you guys. Like, or if you want to be bullish on Tesla as stock, like I bought TSL shares, like, you can, they're leveraged shares, so they do have decay, but that thing moved 16% on Friday. It moved big. All right, ABBV. Che, you bullish or bearish on this one? Let me know. Let's see. Trying to see if it hold few calls 3 to 15. Okay, cool. So we closed. We got a big, or not a big, but a deciding bearish candle closed under the daily 9 right there. But we're coming to big support. So definitely then a few calls. Yeah. So for me, a call entry. If I start seeing, so I'm on the daily, and I'm going to jump to an intraday time frame. Just one last look here. So if I start seeing bounces into here, I'm cautiously buying dips. Or if it's looking a little bit weak, or maybe the market looks weak, you can wait for this 197.52. I know I kind of charted pretty quick. We can go over it in DMs a little bit more detailed, but definitely, until this 199 clears, or even better, you guys, round number 200. If we open over that 200, that's a psychological number. It's a round number. That plus the daily 9 moving average, 2 reasons to be bullish if we open over that 200. Because we can see we start getting those body candles over, we push. We reclaim 200, we push. We didn't quite get there and bounce. We sold through it last candle of the day. Let's see where we open. Let's maybe let Monday morning kind of chill out on it and see where it goes from there, and kind of see, where we open on that. But that's potentially a good setup there, because you got some moving averages curling under. Definitely. Amazon, I think, is a decent spot. Amazon, I'm definitely looking at these 2 wicks here. You can do wicks. Wicks are definitely, it shows, big reaction. But for me, I want, I go both ways. I don't want to ignore the wicks because it shows, but for me, I'd rather have this spot here. If you're still looking at this, ACCEL, ACCEL. Sorry if I messed up your name. I'm on the 1 hour chart. When I see candle bodies closing, boom, bounce, reject, boom, sell under, boom, reject, 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 reject. And so for me, this trend line on Amazon, because I think it's all-time highs again. And as we trickle in here, I'm gonna grab this candle body close here, because it almost lines up with that wick that opened on Thursday. We didn't get that Friday, but that 207. Let's see where we open. If we open under 207, if you catch this top, if you take your puts, know that if you go over, we're probably going to flip bullish on the day and push up. And you start looking left, you start tagging these price target 1, 2, 3, and move up. If we sell through it or sell under 207, definitely start looking for this zone here. So again, candle body wick reaction and candle body closes. Where they start closing, look at that. Where they start opening pre-market, look at that 206 level. But again, if we break out, just ride that breakout. You got 2 days of price action there to play off of, because I think it was all-time highs breakout. But again, sell through, easier. Again, obviously easier because it's recent price action. We can look here. I'm not saying I'm super bearish on it, but we sell under. Look at these stair step downs. Start tagging some levels down here on these names. But nice charts, nice ideas, you guys. But definitely, let's just see where we open here. Again, push over, take those day trades, take them to Friday close, take them to here, whatever it is. We start selling under, and we're under this trend line. For me, it's hard to be bullish. I mean, you can take your shot here, but then you're like, okay, you got to start looking rejection, rejection, rejection. It's like you got to sell into this, expecting or assuming we're going to reject again. Maybe we break out. I don't know, but you don't want to take calls and go, okay, I'm up 25%. I'm not selling because I want to break out. And then we come down. You're like, well, now I'm 30% red. That's stupid. Okay. And so tight spot here, but definitely playable for a day trade. Swings, it's not there for me. I need to see some bigger level touches, some moving averages catch up. But yeah. Gotta give some love to my small port names real quick, you guys. We're running long. I'm not skipping anybody on purpose. That's just how it is when we have a lot of requests. Uber, I want to point this one out. Maybe you guys like this, maybe you don't. It's a cheap name. You can get into some Uber calls or puts at the money, $1.25, 99 bucks, whatever, pretty cheap. Uber's on watch. Daily 200s overhead, 72 as of now is overhead. Stair stepping down. So for now, it's a slight lean bearish bias until we break 72, break the 200, and we break our lower lows or our lower highs downtrend or recent downtrend, that is. And so, just look at the chart. You guys want to point this out. Maybe I'll mention it this week in the tab and the watch list, but definitely name to watch, you guys. Very tradable setup. If you guys are new to Uber, 76, or you take a screenshot as well, 74.25, 73 basically, 72, 71.18, and the big 74 or 70, 74 at the bottom, big buyback. And so this is definitely a good day trade setup for next week. Hopefully I can catch a trade on this. I'll let you guys know if I do, but definitely watching this. Got the 9 overhead, 200 right here. That's the yellow line. So that is a form of resistance until it's not, but just a name I would point out. GM and KO. Let me see what is more important just for speed of time. Let's go with KO. This one pays very nice each day. Strike prices need to make sense, but I like this setup. Big sell Wednesday. Walmart had a shit day too. Markets making all-time highs. We got our election results, whatever. And this is a weak day. I don't know what happened, but the boomer stops kind of got hit a little bit. So now, what do we got? Higher lows 3 days in a row as of now. So if we open over here, I want to see a breakout retest of 74.28. And if you get a half strike calls, otherwise it's a 65 call. Or if we sell under, those 64 puts are going to pay really nice. I don't know if this happens one day. I don't know if we range, but definitely name to keep watch, you guys. I trade this not every day, but pretty much every week. A very nice name. We got the daily 200 overhead, the 9 moving average overhead. Just something to watch here. So if we get that 64.28 reclaim, that's a pretty big level. Hopefully I don't gotta go too far back to prove that, but that 64.28, that's this big volume pocket here from July. So you can see once we finally broke over that big continuation move over. And so not saying we get that move over, but we get over that, and that's where definitely for swings, I'm done being bearish, until we get to these moving averages or some big levels here. But if we reclaim that 64.28 again, that's that 64.28, definitely a level to watch. But yeah, Coke has some, it's got some work to do next week for sure. All right, back to some of the watch lists. I want to make sure I didn't skip anybody that only had one request. Norvin had a couple. iPhone had a couple. LEU, I see that in the chat a lot. Are you in this one, Norvin, or Citrus Energy? Ooh. Let's see what he says. Breakout. Yeah, I did spy. I can do a recap. I mean, the lecture is going to go long regardless, but I can do a recap. So we got, what we got forming here? We got potentially tight spot overhead, no doubt. No bias, just pointing out what I'm seeing. Push over this big 94.29. Sell through it, continuation, push over it, continuation, sell through it, continuation, you get the point. So it's a big level to watch there. Could even call it 95 if we wanted to, but catch that wick there. But big spot brewing. Lower highs last week, or higher lows. Sorry, I always say that wrong. Higher lows. Low is higher. 20 is underneath us. 9 overhead. Trend line. Big spot. Monday, Tuesday. That's gonna decide it. Push up continuation. Push up fake out. I don't know, or push reject and sell. We shall see. But that's a big spot. Over 95. I can't be bearish because that's a big level in a trend line, and 2 moving averages underneath. Definitely. All right, Coinbase and then SPY, and then we got to wrap it. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to skip anybody. I think I got everybody at least one request. The thing is on a move. Realistically, we should wait for a Grizzlies move or say on this, but from a chart perspective, we should always watch Bitcoin, but from a purely charting perspective, we are at a big level here that cannot be denied. One line chart. What do we got? We know if we're late, better be cautious. Can we go more? Absolutely. Bitcoin and stuff related running, crypto, that is running big time. But you didn't buy the fear, or you didn't buy this little breakout, and now you're chasing. So now there's risk. Again, can it go more? Absolutely. But we know, what do we see up here? We see this big rejection. You got to always start at large time frames. Okay, so definitely a spot to watch. Sorry, I lose my voice. For me, how I trade, I would try to be patient for a back test of this here. Big wicks there. Okay. Big breakthrough it. For me, I would love at 263, 264 zone. I would love to see a back test. Let's zoom in a little bit. So 3 moving averages underneath stacked, 9, 20, 200. Look at, they're all stacked down here. So same thing as usual. Break, retest, write it. But remember that daily level, those big rejections, look left. Don't just be blind, be up 80% and taking screenshots and put them in gains tab and not taking any profit like a dummy. Always know where you're on the chart. Definitely holds that level. Or bearish for a day trade. I wouldn't be swinging because it's too tight of a zone, but bearish, we push up, breakouts are failing, we sell down. Again, like usual, just an example, double top. Yeah, take your puts there. Take them down to there. For me, that'd probably be final target of the day. But if you're risky, hold a runner. You sell through. Or maybe we just chop. Maybe we range. If so, just day trade the hell of this range. Because we're day traders. We can make money up and down, up and down. It does not matter. Okay? But sell under that, yeah, I'm going to be leaning some bearish bias. Obviously, we got to see what crypto does. But again, from a chart perspective, we get under that 263. It's like we know based on the daily what happens. Excuse me. When we get back under that, we see that sell pressure when we get back under that zone. And so just be mindful where we're at. Don't chase the hype if you're late to the party, because, it's been running. But again, look at our moving averages down here. Like when we're trending on swings, whether it's up or down, look at, we're getting touches. We're closer. We're getting touches. Look how far we're gapped over this. Worst case scenario, you take some calls and we range. Maybe you got December calls and we range, and then we break out. These moving averages catch up. That's fine. But it's like, you don't want to buy short date stuff for Thursday expiration. You get caught in a range and you're greedy. You're not taking your money. And then we sell through this zone here. So big spot to watch here on Coinbase for sure. But again, I'm not the crypto guy. We know who is, so we got to ask Grizz. App. Norvin, how can I check this, brother? What do you want me to see on this? Earnings they had earnings? Yes, they had earnings. 300 calls. Ride the calls, man. Ride the calls, brother. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, ride the trend till it fails. Yeah, there's kind of a trend here. Kind of not. I don't know, man. Ride the wave until momentum kills you. Stop out. You're already in calls, but I can't say stop out till we get to the 9. But definitely. That's a big zone there. Big zone. All right, SPY recap because somebody asked. Sorry, man, not to tease you. It's so hard. Those all-time highs. You get that. I mean, you get that big ass daily candle and almost no retrace, no close. It's like, man, we got nothing. You gotta wait till at least Thursday's price action comes back or midday. You know, it's so hard to trade. SPY, a recap, and then we will wrap. I think got a better chart. SPY, I think we're going to tag 600. Do we go 600.01 or do we go 610? I don't know, but I think we get the push. For us sake as traders, let's hope they don't do it like pre-market tomorrow or something, and then push us pre-market and then gap under, or push pre-market and hard sell under. But you got to think, we're pushing 500, like how bad everybody wanted that 500. We got it. Like it's like, oh man, we finally got it. And 520, 530, and 550, 560, like the big round numbers. 600, 601, 602. So that is the magnet, for this week. Until it's not. But again, if you're still in here who asked the recap on SPY, we have a very, very obvious trend line here on the daily that I would draw this trend line, you guys, because we have very clear wicks here. We have 2 moving averages underneath us, but for me, I don't say don't be bullish, because when I say that, we'll launch over 600 and we'll be flying. But for me, I want to see a back test, or I want to see some consolidation. So for me, ideally, we break 600 and then we start ranging. And we range and we dip. We can buy some dips. There's nothing wrong with that. Buy dips when it makes sense. See these big levels here, these big consolidation zones here. Like, we sell under, but we see this level here. It's like, buy your dip. When you see a support level in a trend line, take your dips, but don't be blind to where we are on the chart. And so for me, this week, I hope to see some consolidation and a little bit of sell. Doesn't mean a lot, because this is nothing, you guys. What, 1.62%? That's okay. That's perfectly healthy. Like, why are we selling? What's going on? It's like, it's 1.62% to the most recent support. Okay, let's come down on some moving averages. Like I said, I want to see consolidation down to these zones here. That's a 3% pullback. That's nothing. We did back-to-back 2% days on, I think, Wednesday and Thursday. 3%, I'm not saying 3% in a day, but 3% pullback in the week, that's nothing, you guys. If we pull back to some moving averages, or these creep up, these start stair-stepping up, and we got moving averages, and we got support, and we got a trend line, get long, absolutely, you take your shot there. But again, I want to see some consolidation, I think. I just want to see us, a little bit of profit taking, take a breath a little bit. Because that was a big ass move from Wednesday. Like, that was a big breakout, rightfully so, with the election stuff. Shout out to Tilio. If you guys haven't read his newsletter, you guys need to. He explains kind of why we got the move we did. Why did we get the move on Tesla? Why did clean energy solar stuff die on Wednesday? Well, that's not really what, generally speaking, Republicans are not for that. Left-leaning or Democrats are for clean energy, and so that's why they died. And so you need to pay attention to what moved, why it moved. Whether you like it that Trump is going to be back in the office, we need to look at his policies and his stance and stuff that he does, what that does to the market. And so go read Tilio's newsletter, you guys, because it is a real gem this week. He has a lot of information, definitely. But with that, you guys, we're 10 minutes over. If I missed your request, I'm sorry. Send me a DM, say, hey, can you take a look at this? Let's go over it together. But with that, you guys, I'm going to end the chat. Let's have a good week, a good rest of the night, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.